July 1971, at the North American Christian Convention, main session had just ended, and there's people by the hundreds milling around out in this foyer. I came face to face with a woman, and she looked at my name tag and she said, "You're David Haynes." And I said, "Yes, I am." Not 5 minutes before, her husband had said, "Be on the lookout for David Haynes." She said, "I don't know David Haynes. Look for his name tag." Turned around, there I was. Those were the Mays family, the family most responsible for there being a Calvary Christian Church. And Onilla, that was her name, she and her two children, Mark and Marisa, were in church Sunday. She was the pulpit committee, and she went home saying they should try to hire me. There were 29 members when I got here, and they were powerful people. They were really something else. They would go on to do great things in the world. They were serious. They were fun. They meant business. It was a culture of teaching, learning, growing, serving, preaching, and it led to them wanting to invite their friends. They knew what their friends would experience if they came, just like it is now at Calvary. People that come here, I mean, when you invite somebody to come here, you don't have any doubts about what they're going to get when they come. They knew exactly what it would be. They'd be loved, they'd be accepted, they would not be judged, there would not be any of that. There would be total welcome and of them coming. And so it grew. Like you mentioned, what do I remember about the Pass It On campaign? Yeah. That type of thing. I wish for you, my friend, this happiness I've found. Well, the theme was pass it on. You have something valuable you've been given, pass it on. Don't keep it to yourself. Invite your friends, get involved in their lives. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. And soon all those around can warm up and it's glowing. That's how it is with God's love. When you experience it, you've got to pass it on. You've got to pass it on. Those campaigns were very, very seriously taken by the congregation. And we had tell the world, show the world. Don't just preach to me, show me. That seemed to really resonate with people. So that one really worked. Pass it on. Reach out to Jesus. Reach out for Jesus. Be Jesus to somebody else. Those who reach out, touch. People, today they may sound hokey, they may sound cheesy, but they didn't back then. They really were embraced by the church. When you were a part of something and you left it, it's easy to look back and nitpick and find things, and we seem to be kind of good at that. I have never had the slightest inclination to do anything but be so happy about this church and the way it's grown and the lives it's touched. And I feel like that's burning as brightly and maybe more so than it ever has. This is a few words of an article I wrote for the Contact. You ever know what the Contact was? It's our church paper. Contact from Calvary. We loved that name, Contact, so everybody just talked about the Contact. December 10th was Jennifer's birthday, my daughter. We had a birthday meal and a pretty cake. Jennifer was full of expression, all smiles. She played her part beautifully. And I thought to myself, oh, how much I loved her and what she meant to me. It caused me to think of something else. I thought of our church and how important it is that we grow, that we must always be looking for one more. We average 55 in attendance. I want us to average 56. When we have 100, I'll want 101. How important is it to have one more? If it were one of my children, it would be the most important thing in the world. And there isn't one child in Bellevue, in this whole area, but what God loves them more than we love our children. No matter how lonely, unlovely, dirty, or how much of an outsider they are, I hope and pray that God will put a great burden on the heart of Calvary Christian Church to always be looking, working, planning, and praying for one more. Wrote that in December 1971. And I think you have.